Hello. My final project for dynamic web applications is Interested App. The application is a PHP Laravel application which helps the users to see what all events are organized in their city and to mark their city as and to mark their events as interested or not interested. This will help them collaborate with other people who are also interested in the same event, which will help them share their ideas. If it's a technical event, meetup, prepare. If it's a corporate event or a education event, or if it's a conference, or even do a carpooling if it's a sports event or a fun event together to the uh, venue of the um, event. So this opens up a lot of collaboration, and I thought this will be very readily be usable by the people, and henceforth I have developed the web application for the same. The UI for the same is created in HTML5 U and PHP using Bootstrap as theming and CSS. So we can either so as we can see in the home page, the user needn't log in order to see all the events which are organized. In order to see just the events, not to mark them as interested or not to collaborate with the other users, he can just view all the events. But if he wants to do all the other activities, he can log in. So as for the login, default login that is available, so we will log in via Jill and submit, and henceforth say few other things. The user Jill had previously logged in and said he is interested in intermediate Excel tips and tricks event. He is interested in volunteer night at Partners in Health and is also interested in the third event. So he is interested in all the three events in order to go in there. But if, for example, we say log out and yep, so we have been logged out, say, and then if we register with another user, for example, like I would now like to register as Anjali. Email is anjali.chinmay@gmail.com. Password is anything, age is 20, and address is something as is mentioned. So if on clicking on register, it will allow me to register here and it will take me to the login page. But then as I said, Jill was interested in all the events. I have not marked any of the events as interested. I would probably like to mark the third one as being interested, and my interests are incorporated great enough. I can see all the interested ones over here, just the interested one, not all the ones. Probably then I actually think that I want to create an event. So I just go here. I have selected some of the values and mentioned here. So I would rather use those ones. So here, selecting the description, selecting the image, selecting the link. It gives us multiple such options, and all the options are mandatory, so we would have to provide all of them, as it would be in 25th of December at 6 a.m. Then I have mentioned I will take this, and the presenter is tags. It's a fun event. It's about life, no education, it's for Christmas. So I'd like to update this. So once on saying save, what it gives me is it takes me to where my event was created and where I am the organizer of. So in the organizer, I have multiple such options. I have option to edit the same and I have the option to delete it as well. If I go on the home page, it will again be available for marking me as interested or not. So yes, because I created it, I'll certainly be interested in the event. So I just marked it, and if I go here and it is again reflected, so if I see the list, it's again reflected here. Now, I would want to see who all are the users in the system. So there's Anjali, Jamal, and Jill currently. For example, now as we said, if we want to edit it or if we want to change it, for example, the timing I want to change, which is not from 18 but 19, as simple a change. And then I also want to say it's a conference kind wherein people, okay, social kind wherein people mingle together, and yeah, just that. So if I just save them and again come over here, so all these tags are updated and the timing is reflected as well. Now, on selecting delete, it will ask the user that whether am I sure or not. If I'm sure, so I'll say just yes, I'm sure that I want to delete it. And then I have no events that I have organized. I can just create one again. It will take you to the link. Simple validations are created. Simple validations includes if I don't include anything because everything is I have made everything as mandatory, it will be reflected here. If I mention any of my event description amount, which is the this as children says it is in 12 time maybe venue something present or something. If I just mention any URL here, it will throw an error that the image URL and the link should be a URL because the format is not correct. So these things would are taken care of. Certain that's what minimal validation has been provided. While as if we see our code, if I close all the tabs, this is the README file which gives the whole description and availability here. Now the main file is our index Blake PHP, and all these things are done in R. I have controllers, controllers for event and controllers for user. The events controller has certain get events and post events in order to create, update, delete, and do all such activities with respective authentication. While the user controller is in order to get the users and throw the users out for it. So, for example, the um, people's one gets the data from users profile itself. Now, as our database would have, the database has certain tables. The tables include, as we would see, we using the migrations. The migrations are available under database. Migrations are available under database. It has currently a migration for users table, migration for events table, and tags table. For the users table, I have additional fields. The additional fields are address, phone number, and age. And then we connect, we create the pivot table for events and tags, pivot table for events and users, because yeah, the relationship carries. A user creates events, so he can create multiple events, so it's 1 to n. Then a user would be interested in events, so there are two relationships between events and users table. One is to many, which is creation, and many is to many, wherein multiple users can be interested in multiple events and so on and so forth. And wherein another relationship is events and tags, which is many to many, many events can have many tags. So these two relationships, these three relationships are reflected. So I have two pivot tables, and if we see in my events table, there is another foreign key for user ID. This makes um, this makes my file, which is under app, in order to handle my event for user, which belongs to user, for tags and interested users wherein they carry the interest. So this majorly depicts my architecture. So everything is a custom code written under controller, under authentication controller, and under user controller. Authentication is Laravel authentication, and it's mostly the custom code that carries just one thing. There are not many things that I'm using as libraries. Certain basic ones as libraries utilize is the logs one, in order to see the logs which are available in the system. The enhancements to the application include the blogging application. I would rather include much more blogs here and interaction cases wherein the people can just interact with the people, call them up. The calling and address functionality is not being provided currently. It's just that just to make sure that the user has the security and privileges available, so those will be taken care of. Yeah, so this was mostly done, and if we log out, it just logs out and gives us the home page where we have all the events again here. Thank you.